Welcome to the tutorial for AlphaLab's Discovery menu. This is where you launch strategy searches, review history, and edit the acceptance criteria. We'll go through every box, every button, and every table, one by one, so you have no doubts. The Discovery menu has 3 tabs. Run Sweep, to launch a search. Sweep History, the history of past searches. And Configuration, where you define the quality filters. In the Run Sweep tab, you choose which markets to search, with which indicators, in which mode, and with how much compute effort. Let's start on the left, the Datasets panel. The Datasets panel is where you tick what you want to search on. Each row is a symbol and time frame combination. For example, Eurodollar on H1. Tick the checkbox of every dataset you want to include. It's important to understand that each dataset is an independent search. A strategy validated on Eurodollar H1 is not assumed valid on H4. They are separate sweeps. Datasets come grouped into 2 families: FX majors, with the 12 main pairs, and indices, with 5 indices. At the top of the panel, there's a filter box. Type part of a symbol, for example JPY, and the list narrows to the yen pairs. The Select All and Deselect All buttons tick or untick every visible dataset at once. A handy trick: filter by the group you care about first, then press Select All, so you tick only that group in one click. On the right is the Features panel, the set of indicators the engine offers the optimizer as candidates for the entry rules. If you untick a feature here, the optimizer won't choose it, even though it keeps being computed internally because others may depend on it. They are grouped by family: momentum, oscillators, volatility, and so on. By default, the 32 features of the validated pool are enabled, so to get started you don't need to touch anything here. Bottom left, you choose the search mode. You can enable one or both. Single rule mode searches for a single entry condition, for example RSI below 30. It's the fastest and the least prone to overfitting, so it's ideal to start with. Tree rule mode combines 2 or 3 conditions in a shallow decision tree. It's more expressive, but it costs more compute and is more sensitive to curve fitting, that is, to fitting the noise of the past. If you enable both modes, the search runs single rule first, and then tree rule over the same universe, each with its own number of trials. The Futures cross-asset box is optional and advanced. FX and its CME futures are 95% correlated, but the futures carry data FX doesn't have: real volume, open interest, COT positioning, and term structure. When you enable it, the search adds 7 features derived from the correlated future to find edges that price alone cannot see. It auto-detects the symbol. Today the beneficiaries are Eurodollar, Dollar Yen, S&P 500 and Nasdaq. The rest are ignored gracefully. It's off by default. In trials, single controls how many combinations the optimizer tries per dataset in single rule mode. The recommended value is 50, within a range of 10 to 100. Few trials are for a quick scan, many for a more exhaustive search. Adjust it with the slider. The number is shown above. In trials, tree is the same, but for tree rule mode. Keep in mind that tree rule trains a decision tree on each trial, so each trial costs more compute than in single. 50 is also recommended, in the same 10 to 100 range. The Start Sweep button launches the search with everything you've selected, and the Cancel button stops it safely. AlphaLab warns you before starting if something is missing. If you've ticked no dataset, if you've chosen no mode, or if you have fewer than 3 active features, which is the minimum to produce useful rules. Once launched, the interface stays responsive. You can switch menus while the search runs. Right below the buttons is the progress bar, showing the percentage and the state, idle or running. And in the lower area you get the log, the search output in real time, where you see which dataset is being processed and how the best result found evolves. The second tab, Sweep History, is the history of saved searches. Each row is a search, with its columns: started, the date and time, dataset, symbol and TF, what it searched on, trials, how many combinations were tried, best score, the best result obtained, and status, whether it finished correctly. If you click any row, that search opens directly in the leaderboard, so you can see all of its strategies in detail. The third tab, Configuration, defines the quality filters. At the top, the gate or acceptance criteria configuration, the hard thresholds a strategy must clear to be considered valid. grouped into robustness and overfit, risk and return, sample and regime, and live 3-month. For example, minimum Sharpe, maximum drawdown, minimum number of trades, maximum PBO, and minimum DSR. Below, the score configuration, the weights that order the leaderboard table. This doesn't change which strategies pass the gates, only the order they're shown in. With the Reset Default button, you return to the recommended values, and with Save, you store your changes, which affect the next search you launch. And that's the whole discovery menu. In short, tick the datasets and features, choose the mode and number of trials, and press Start Sweep. Review the results in Sweep History and in the leaderboard, and adjust the filters and configuration whenever you need to. In the next videos, we'll cover the rest of the menus in the same detail.